Well, good morning. Welcome to Mayor's Weekly, and we're pleased to have you with us on this pretty spring morning. And today we're going to venture away from talking about core city business, and we're going to talk about a program that's impacted a lot of people. It's impacted our community in a positive way over the years, and that is Leadership Walker County. And joining me is Linda Lewis, who heads up our Chamber of Commerce. And Leadership Walker County originated under the Chamber umbrella and continues today under that umbrella. Linda, thank you for being here. And before we really talk about the program, a little bit about the history at when the program started. Were you heading the Chamber?
I was, I don't think I was at the Chamber. I think the second year is when I joined the Chamber. But we've been doing this program now for 28 years.
28.
So that tells you a lot. And you're an alum too.
Right. I think
we were talking
what
about
I remember,
that
Linda, I know it's been going on a long time. I think I was in the second class. I think we were still writing on stone tablets, and when we did our presentation, we held up black and white photos. No, it wasn't quite that bad, but but Linda, do you recall, 28 years is a long time, what brought about the idea of Leadership Walker County and bringing it to the Chamber and that sort of thing? Do you have any recollection of that?
There was a group of people that came together that felt like the community could all come together, work together through a leadership program. And I know Guy Robbins was real instrumental, if I'm not mistaken, in pulling this all together. And it was a great vision of leaders back then. And they brought it all together, and we had an individual person come in to help train and teach the class at that time. And after a couple of years, we decided to go in a different direction. And at that time, we talked, if you remember, Dr. Harold Wade at Bevel State Community College. And we talked to Dr. Wade, and he was just all into it. And hook, line, and sinker, bought into the program, had many of the Bevel people that were alum. So we partnered with Bevel State Community College, and we've been a partner with them ever since, and it's been a great marriage.
Now, Linda, again, working from memory, I don't, because you're based at the Civic Center. I don't believe the Civic Center had been built then, had it? Where was the Chamber based at?
No. The Chamber of Commerce, when I first started and when all the leadership programs started, was right across the street from Synovus Bank. Used to be First National Bank.
That's exactly right, was it not? Yeah.
Where you were employed.
Yeah.
And that's where I started. And I've been at the Chamber over 25 plus years at the Chamber. So
I'd forgotten about that, and I think that's, I remember meetings there, and then when you had to bring the class together, did you do it at the college, or?
We did it at various places, and one thing that we still do, it's an 8-month program, and every month we deal on a different topic. Yeah. And each month we go to a different place. You know, at one time we were at Camp McDowell in the early years of it, and we would have classes out at Camp McDowell. Now, depending on what topic we deal with, like health care, the hospital will sponsor us that day. And we'll go to the hospital, we'll listen to different things that affect our state and our community regarding health care. One class is on education, and we go to Bevel State Community College on the Summerton campus. And we have various speakers come in. I know we have you come in, and we speak. We have you and our police chief and our sheriff and various people within our community come in and educate us on the problems and that we have, you know, within our city and county, but also the good things we're doing. And by all of these people coming in and educating us on what's going on in our community, we're able to formalize and do a project. And every year, our leadership will have a project to do, and You were a part of the presentation this year. You heard all their projects, and we had some wonderful projects.
That's right. Linda, we talk about leadership, and we look at what's happening here, and I had the good fortune in my previous life to attend and graduate from the Leadership Institute based in Atlanta, Georgia, and conducted by Emory University. And our focus there over a 3-year program was a focus of leadership in the corporate world, and this is a different focus. Yet, and I'm saying this just so people understand, you're not trying to teach people how to manage employees or whatever, but the leadership focus here is to I think to make us better citizens and that sort of thing. Is that a right assessment of that?
That's a great assessment. And you know, you graduating from that leadership, I went through Leadership Alabama, and it was a good way to sort of kind of change our program up too. Because the people that participate in Leadership Walker County, and I brought a little pamphlet and a brochure, we take around 25 individuals within our community and our county, and they vary. They're executives, they're attorneys, they're educators. They come from all walks of life. And one thing that we have to learn, and I think you'll agree with this, just all the people that you manage here at the city and all of your employees, everybody has different personalities. And the very first session that we have are personality traits. Why I think one way, you think another way.
Yeah.
And it's everybody getting together in order to make something happen, something positive to happen, whether it's a financial institution and you're all working there, whether it's coming together at the Chamber of Commerce and working on things at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
You have to work together in order for things to happen, even though they're different personalities that we all have.
Yeah.
So we've got a great team to help
Yeah.
us on that.
Linda, you mentioned that it's an 8-month, 11.
It's an 8-month
Pro-
program.
And you said you make 8 different stops. Give the folks a little insight of some of the things that you expose the class to through the course of the 8-month program.
Okay, and I don't want to scare anybody when I say it's an
Yeah.
8-month program.
Yeah.
Because it's only one day in that month.
Yeah.
It starts in September and ends in April, and we meet only one day. We let everybody know the days that we meet so they can go ahead and put it on their calendar and make arrangements so they won't be at work that day, or make arrangements with their boss. But one is orientation, and it's team building skills. And like I said, why I think one way and another person thinks another way, it's working together in teams on that day. And it's always a great day. Local government, and you're on the panel for local government. We already talked about that. Another is economic development, and normally we go out into the industrial park. We've been fortunate to tour Urozu and Haisha. We go out to HTNA and the new HVAC training center. You're a part of that day on economic development, and you come in and you tell us everything, all the good things that's happening out in the industrial park and the places that we can go. Jasper Lumber is another place that we go and tour too. In December, we had health care, where we went to the hospital. We meet with different physicians and nurses and the CEO out there at our hospital. January is education concerns, where we talked about going to Bevel and listening to the different things that affect our state and our community. One thing that we did this year that I really enjoyed was substance abuse, because it just seems like it's becoming more alarming in so many different communities. And we brought our Youth Leadership Walker County group in with our adult class, And we talked about the different things with substance abuse. And I think it was really an eye-opener this year. I know it was to me. Then in March, we make a trip to Montgomery, and we visit with our legislative delegation. We have lunch with them. We talk to them about our concerns that we've heard through the year. They talk to us a little bit about the things that they're doing in Montgomery to help make the state of Alabama, plus our community, a stronger and better place to live. And then in April, everyone has a project that they do, and they graduate, and you're wearing your pin today, and I'm wearing my pin.
Right.
And you get pinned, and you get a diploma, and you present your project. So it's an exciting 8-month program.
Linda, we, I'll talk a little bit about the projects that we had this year in just a minute, and then I'll talk about how people can investigate being a part of Leadership Walker County. But I know over the course of 28 years, there have been some good things for this community.
Yes.
That have come out of Leadership Walker County, and there's not enough time this morning, and wouldn't call on you to, if you're a memory, to recall all those things. But off the top of your head, can you think of a few projects that spun out of Leadership Walker County that's impacted this community?
Yes, I can, and there are a lot. And I wrote down a couple of them just to let the community know some of the things that we do. We had a lot of exciting projects this year. Two of them that I think of that stand out, we had 4 projects this year, but one of the projects that we had this year was the First Ride. And this is where when we went to the hospital and we learned a little bit about health care, we understood that there is a lot of children. I think there were over 800 births that were at our hospital here. And some of the people were not able to have proper car seats for the children to go home. So one of the groups decided, and they called it the First Ride, to help the people that could not maybe have the funds to get the first car seat, to and able to purchase that. They did a fund drive, and they got enough money to start purchasing car seats to take to the hospital to help out families that needed that. It was a great project. Many of you may have read about it in the local newspaper. That was one of the projects. Another project was the Little Library, where they took some of the old Daily Mountain Eagle newspaper stands. If you've seen those around town, the Mountain Eagle gave them 3 of these newsstands, and they sanded them, they painted them, and they made little libraries. They put books in them and put them in different parts of the community so people could come in, take a book, put another book in it, take a book out, and help a little bit with that. And they work with the Literacy Council on that. Another project that they did this year was promoting financial literacy in high schools, where they had different volunteers to go out in the high schools, teach them a little bit about different things about maybe financial opportunities on how you balance a checkbook, or where you go to do certain things, or do things that your credit wouldn't be bad. You know, teaching the high school people, automatically giving them a little bit of information. And then one thing that we needed down at the chamber that I was really thrilled about was revitalizing our Chamber of Commerce boardroom. It needed a major revitalization, and we had a group come in, help do a little bit of painting. They put local artwork in, provided us with a new refrigerator. So when you and I bring in different people into the community when it comes to retail opportunities, we can go into a beautiful boardroom now. We've got a smart TV. We're ready to go in our boardroom. So those were the 4 projects we did this year.
But, if we look back down through the years, of course, the projects this year were outstanding projects, but there have been many good things that has gone
yeah.
out of Leadership Walker County, and I can remember, and I'm not tooting my whistle or my team's whistle or whatever, but what I recall, what we knew then as Quarter X and what we know today is
Yeah.
I-22, that being one and the same highway, that if the path had been marked for that stretch of roadway, it hadn't been built, but if there was going to be any chance for development along what was then an idea of what we know as the Industrial Parkway today, that we had to have adequate infrastructure.
Right.
And the investigative work that our team did turned up that we did not have adequate infrastructure to have any chance of development when the highway was built. And this has not been critical of Jasper Waterworks or Sewer Board, great group of folks there. That day what we found is our sewage processing capacity was pretty much at max. If we had some industry come in or whatever, we couldn't handle that. Then 2 components of water for manufacturing concerns is you have to have pressure and you have to have volume. We did not have that, and for HTNA to come to town, there had to be a major pumping station put there to raise the pressure. I think the new water main had to be put in to make sure we had the volume, and of course today you see the large water tank there on Industrial Parkway. And absent of those things, then we couldn't have developed. Now, that's not like we do the Nobel Prize there. I mean, those are things you have to. But I was pleased with the investigative work that our team did, determining that we were, at that time, not prepared to do the things that need to be done. Of course, today we're more than adequately prepared, and that's paying big dividends for the city. Now, Linda, we've talked about the projects had this year. I know people that participate in Leadership Walker County, by and large, they're employer sponsored. The employer pays their tuition, and the people, I mean, they don't have any outlay out of pocket, and the employer supports them in the time away from their job to fulfill the requirements of the program. A person that's interested in Leadership Walker County, how do you go about that?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because you are a big advocate and you send a lot of your employees along with the chief of police. That's why you're always there for us. You're very supportive of this program. But anybody that's interested in participating in this program, there is a little bit of a fee. It's $350, but that is for all 8 sessions. Once you pay that, we furnish all your food, we furnish all your materials that you need. We get the bus that takes you to Montgomery, to and from Montgomery. So it takes care of all the supplies. That's just the basic supplies that we need to get you going for that year. So it is $350, but it's $350 well spent.
Yeah. Let me say this, that the $350, I think local government session is held at St. Cecilia Catholic Church. the Knights of Columbus
Yes.
cook the barbecue, and that's probably worth half your tuition, right?
They are good. Everybody wants to go back to St. Cecilia's and have the Knights cook for us, because you're exactly right. And let me tell you, they've been big advocates of the program. They've
Right.
sent a lot of people through the program too. So they're a great sponsor for that day in cooking. So yes, that's one big advantage right there, is
Yeah.
getting to go there and have their barbecue.
Well, Linda, what we're going to do, and we'll make it a part of this presentation today, is a list of the 2023 graduates. I'd like for you to see that, the companies that they represent, and certainly if you had questions about leadership in Walker County, call the Chamber of Commerce. For some reason you don't make contact there, you call City Hall. We'll get you the information, but it would be a real accommodation to any employee that you would support in being part of leadership in Walker County. I can assure you that your organization will benefit from it, and those folks can make greater contributions in making this community a better place to live and work.
I
And,
appreciate it. I
right.
appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk about
Right.
it today.
Glad to have you here, Linda, and we'll look forward to being with you next week.